Hey, Winnie Anderson here. Happy Wednesday. I am the host of the Courageous Entrepreneur Show. That is the show that shares information and inspiration to help you break free from self-doubt, limiting beliefs, and disempowering patterns, and break through to create the thriving, successful business you dream of and deserve. The show airs on Mondays, and then I am here on Wednesdays on Facebook Live for what I call the after show. The after show is a show that really focuses on some element of the content of this week's core episode, and I wanted to come on and I share more information about that particular aspect of it with you. So as we go through here, please feel free to post your questions or comments. I will answer them, and I will share any links that I reference in the comment area when I'm all done here. As I said, this is about this week's episode, which was all about using video to market your business. And it was specifically about developing on-camera confidence. And it was featured the fabulous Michelle Moreno. Michelle she has experience as an actress, as a singer, and she is now coaching others to be confident on camera so they can powerfully use video to grow their business. So it was a fun episode. And like I said, I'll share that with you. Hey, Gloria. Hey, Gail. Hey, Lynn. Nice to see you guys on. You can find it at winnieanderson.com/video confidence. And again, I'll have the link listed in the comment area along with any other resources that I'm going to mention in this presentation today. So I am a business coach. I work with passionate introverts who have a big vision and mission, and they want to get it out in the world, but they are overwhelmed in trying to achieve it. So as I said, in this week's episode was all about video, and not just using it, but specifically in getting confidence. And while I was editing the episode, a bunch of things came to my mind about how did I get comfortable using video. I've actually had people message me and ask me a lot, how did you get to the point where you're able to do sometimes multiple videos a week and you seem like you're so confident on camera? Well, I'm not really. One big secret is practice. So let me dive in and share these tips I have with you. This is exactly what I do, so I'm not holding anything back, I promise. The key thing, though, is you got to practice and you got to get out there. So let's dive in. And of course, one thing, so I know you can't see this, but one thing is my setup, right? So I have a setup that works for me. It is not particularly pretty, but it makes me comfortable and it really helps me to work. Helps me work for a couple of reasons. One is, so I have two monitors. Right? That's really the big key here. I have two monitors and I have an external camera. And I actually got two monitors. I've had them now for about, I think maybe 7 years, maybe even longer. And the reason why I got two monitors is because regular viewers know I have a brain injury and I have such impaired short-term memory that it's a lot better now. But it was so bad that, you're working with multiple tabs and I would be researching and writing and researching and working on a project, and I would forget what I had just seen and what I wanted to take. So I started using two monitors. Somebody suggested that to me, and it's fabulous. So if you don't have two monitors, you got to get one. I strongly encourage you to do that. You can pick it up for, I think I paid like $50 for a spare monitor. You can probably get one for maybe a little bit less, but you can go to an estate sale and get one. I got one from a friend of mine who runs a computer repair service. So she just, she gets spare parts, and she sold that to me for, like I said, $50. Not a lot of money. Nice big monitor, so it's easy for me to see because I have a vision impairment as well. So I have my two monitors and they're very close to each other, so I don't have to switch my whole body as I go to look, although I could. So I have my notes there, and that's what I refer to. Then I have my camera, and that's what I look at. So And that's part of what you have to get comfortable doing, is talking directly to the camera, right? So just a quick glance. Hey, Stephanie, how are you? So let me go through these points, and I will help you get more confident on video. So first of all, you definitely want to check out this week's episode if you have not seen it. Like I said, it features the fabulous Michelle Moreno. She's so fantastic. She was so much fun to talk to. What we covered in that video was why video is important. And it's not just important, you know, as you build your business. It's important to your clients. They like video. I shared some statistics that talk about where video is right now in terms of marketing and marketing effectiveness. Pretty powerful stuff. So if you're not using video, the best time to use it is today. Right, so make today the decision. You're going to start using video. So the key things, we also talked about the key things to share that will help an audience to love you, even if your videos aren't perfect. My videos are never perfect, and I don't worry about it, because done beats perfect, right? So you want to also, we also covered why you have to get comfortable with repelling people. That might seem like a wacky statement, but it's completely true. You have to have people who love you. Not just, yeah, she's nice, that's good. No, you want people who love you. That means you must be polarizing. If you're going to have people love you, you got to have people who hate you, right? Who aren't crazy. I want people to just turn me off if they're not interested. I only want to talk to people who genuinely love me, who are ready to share my messages. Hint, hope you'll do that with this as well. People who want to work with me and who want the information that I have. So if you're lukewarm, feel free to go. She also shared a simple trick. This was really awesome, to get your inner critic to shut up. And we talked about the most important elements of videos, how to look and sound your best, even if you think you have a face made for radio, and how to get over that feeling. We talked about simple tips and tricks to know what to say when you're thinking, I don't really know what to say. So that's all we covered in this week's episode. Definitely encourage you to get that. It's winnieanderson.com/video confidence, and I will share the link in the chat area. If you're watching this on replay, feel free to post questions, comments, because I circle back and I answer them all the time. Feel free to tag me, though. All right, so my best tips. So these are going to be really how-to stuff. Pardon me, I need a sip. Club soda, still no Diet Coke, yay me. Okay, so first of all, the big thing is, and I'm going to be talking about video in general, not Facebook Live video specifically, just video in general. So first of all, you need to know, what the heck are you doing this video for? What's the point? And you've got a point for the audience, but you also have a point for you. Where does the video fit in to your overall marketing and sales process? Your marketing and sales model or framework? Where does it fit in? Is it an awareness building, brand building tool? Is it an initial contact with new people and you're hoping to bring them into your community? You want to get them to opt in or take some kind of action? Is the video you're creating for those people who are farther along in the buying process, and maybe they're already on your newsletter list and you already have a relationship with them? So you want to figure out, where does this video fit in and what is the point, right? One of the points for me, it's a content creation tool, right? So promise you I'm going to give you at least 9 tips. I know you're going to get way more than that. So where does this fit in with your model? That's going to help you to start thinking about the next tip, which is you got to plan your video out. My friend Jane Ann Hart used to say she would come and video my public presentations, take pictures of me. And she used to say that it takes a lot of practice to make something look easy. And that is really my big goal, is to make it look easy for you so that you'll dive in, but also I practice. So prep is key here. So you want to plan out your video, know what you're talking about, have some key bullet points, know the examples that you're going to use, right? If you've ever watched a YouTube video where the person has been like, they're doing a demonstration, they go, well, no, that doesn't work. No, know your examples ahead of time so that they flow smoothly in your presentation. You want to make sure that you know what the next best step is for the viewer. In other words, what's your call to action going to be? Like Stephen Covey used to say, you got to start with the end in mind, right? So if you want to use this as a lead generation tool, right? You want to inspire people to want to work with you, then you have to know that, because there are certain points that you're going to want to hit in that video. If it's to get them to opt in, right, that's an easy kind of step, but even that needs to be, people need to be inspired and invited. So you want to make sure that you've structured your video to accomplish your goal and that it's a reasonable next step for your audience. So you also want to think about repurposing your content. And there's a lot of talk about, should you repurpose, should you not repurpose? Yes, repurpose, and reuse, right? It's another reason why I really like video, because in my opinion, it's a fast way for me to create content. I can then download this video, I can edit it a little bit if I would like, I can upload it to YouTube, I can then post it on my website. I can take the content, and if I do a really good job planning, I can just write the article right from the content. But you can also get your audio transcribed right from the video. You can convert your video to an audio, and you can use Cloud Convert. That's what I use to convert my videos. I have a very small subscription because I do convert a lot of stuff during the month. So I needed to pay for an extra level. So you want to make sure that you have all of those things in your head as you're starting to get ready to use video. Gloria says, that's what I need, practice, practice, practice. Amen, Gloria, that's all it is. It's just making time to practice. So, and I'll give you some tips. Remind me if I don't mention anything about practicing, remind me and I will share some practice tips. So you also want to think, let's talk about some physical stuff here. You want to think about your physical space, right? I hope you can see my space is not perfect, but it varies based on where I position my camera, right? I have a Logitech C920, which is not their top of the line. It was the one right before that. I've had this, I don't know, 7 years, maybe longer, and it's a workhorse. So you definitely want to get a good camera. I strongly recommend a Logitech. I'll include a link in the comment area, but I can position this. I also have let me get this for you. I also have this little tiny tripod. I got this at Target, $14.99, right? The cool thing about it is it's bendy. So what I usually do is I have my original electric pencil sharpener from when I was a kid. Yes, this is like from 1970. And I put this tripod on my pencil sharpener, which is between my two monitors. Then I screw the camera on, and then I can adjust the camera a little bit, and that changes the image of what's behind me. That was the point of all this. So you don't need to have this, right? This is totally not expensive. Yes, you can use your phone. I don't like to use my phone. I like my camera. So behind me, okay, there's not a whole lot of, there's some stuff on the floor. The thing I have to remember to move, and often I forget, there's a cat scratching cardboard thing that sometimes is in the view behind me. Oh, well, people know I have cats, right? So, and if you are a pet parent and you work from home, yes, you want to try and get your pets out of the area, and you also want them to stay quiet and occupied. So if you have a dog, for example, then I don't know what you do because I'm a cat person, but you want to try and do something that keeps the animal quiet, right, as you record. Oh, good for you, Gloria. All right, I'll catch you later. Watch the rest of the video. So I have 3 cats. One of them is disabled, and she is with me all day. It's easier for me to just leave her here, trust me, than and just deal with it in the moment. So you, as a pet parent, you need to make those decisions, right? But physically behind me, there are a couple of things that give clues to my personality. There's my Sherlock, right? My Sherlock mug. That's Royal Doulton. I had that for a long time, since the mid-'80s. And that violin as a little nod to Sherlock. I got that at an estate sale. And my little lion back there, that, of course, is a nod to the Courageous Entrepreneur Show, the logo. The logo is, there's a lion's head, and I'm a Leo, so it's perfect. And then the tulips, they're attractive. They have some height. And it's also a nod to the very first blog that I wrote back in the very early 2000s, which was called From My Tulips, right? My tulips. So you want to think about what's behind you. It shouldn't be distracting to the audience. You don't want something with movement behind you because it's going to draw the eye behind you and they're going to be looking at that, right? So you want to make sure that, your background looks good. No dirty laundry. Okay. And yes, I've actually seen that on somebody's audio or a video. You also want to make sure that, you have something that looks good, that flatters you, that is a color that looks good. Most of you know I typically wear a solid color. This is different for me to have two different colors on, and dark colors work well for me. But you want to typically have a solid color because patterns can cause, some kind of thing going on with the eye there. All right, so that was a long bit about what you're wearing. Next is you want to think about your lighting. That is probably the most important thing because people want to be able to see your face. They want you want to not have any shadows. This was really hard for me to figure out at first where to put the lighting. I have overhead lighting, I have natural lighting right in front of me, I have natural lighting to the side of me, but I also have 3 different lamps that are around me that at various times in the day I need to turn on to make sure that I'm well lit, right? So you just don't want to cast any shadows, you want your whole face to be seen. Oh, thanks, Stephanie. Stephanie says, good information. So next up is you want to think about the method. And of course, like I said, if you're just joining me, I have some notes and that's what I'm looking at here. So you want to think about the method of your video. Are you going to do live video? Or are you going to do recorded video? I strongly recommend, if you've never done video before, start with pre-recorded video. The issue here is, of course, you can practice, right? I can tell you how many I deleted. You can delete, you can edit, and you can just keep going. So start with pre-recorded video, do it on whatever whatever tool works for you, your phone, your camera. I love, frankly, just sitting here at my desk and doing a video with my Logitech. And what I'll do is I'll go into Zoom and I'll do a live meeting with just me and I'll just talk. Download it, then I can edit it. It's the easiest thing to do. I had a little flip video recorder and I had a bigger tripod. I would do that and come out in front of the camera, pain in the neck, but then I could cut that out. I also, back in South Jersey where I used to live, sometimes I would have somebody I would rope into videotaping me. I hated that because I just want to do it when I want to do it. I don't want to have to inconvenience somebody else. I don't have to pay somebody else. So I like being in front of my camera. If I could find something with a remote start, that would be awesome, because then I could do some stand-up videos and maybe do some training with flip charts or things like that. So you want to think about the method of the video. Is it live? Is it pre-recorded? Is it going to be a slideshow? Are you going to share your screen? Or is it just going to be all you, what I call talking head video? So you can do a slideshow. You can just come on and then share your screen. You can do just screen shares. I strongly recommend that you do those pre-recorded. To do them live takes a lot of practice, trust me. But I'm going to be starting to practice very soon. So what tools are you going to use? What props are you going to have? Right? I should have remembered I needed my tripod, and I should have put that on my desk. I forget. It's okay. I didn't boo-hoo. It didn't fall apart. It was right here. That's all I did was reach over. So you want to have everything within arm's reach. if you're using props. I strongly recommend that you not use props immediately. And that's because it takes coordination, right? You're thinking about what I got to say. Where is my lighting right? Don't worry about the props yet. Keep your video short and just talk, just be a talking head and just share your point and then get out. Okay. So next is, let's see, what else did I want to share? So we talked about props. Make sure that you're using the technology that you're comfortable with. And if you're not comfortable with any technology, then you really want to make sure that you practice. So one of the coaching groups, actually the coaching group I run, we have a Facebook group and people come in, it's Movie Monday, people come in and they practice video on that day if they want to, totally no pressure. So if you're in a group that lets you practice using video, that's awesome. If you have your own group, let them know, hey, I'm going to start practicing using video and I'm going to practice with you guys. Share quality content and people will give you a lot of breaks. You want to make sure that your audio and your lighting at a minimum, though, are good. So next is, let's see. So I would really focus on what's the best type of video to reach your audience. This is another reason why I wanted to force myself to get comfortable doing live video, because the bulk of my audience is on Facebook right now. I'm going to start expanding into doing video on LinkedIn and leveraging video in that way, but you want to be where your audience is and you want to use the modality that they like to use. That's why I like to turn video into audio and into written articles, because then people can consume it in the way that's best for them. All right, so back to practicing. Let's talk about this just a little bit. The first step, my cat is up, so brace yourself. The first thing is I always visualize the whole experience. And of course, whenever I visualize, I focus on the positive and I imagine myself doing this video and practicing what I'm going to say and that everything goes well. But I also practice thinking about what would happen if people ask me questions? What if somebody challenges me? Am I going to be comfortable doing that? So thinking about the worst case scenario, what happens if the tech goes down? And it has, then the more you can think about that, the more you get prepared for it. So I know there's a school of thought that says you should only think about the positive happening. That's a load of crap when it comes to technology. You want to hope for the best, you want to aim for the best, but you want to be prepared for whatever happens, and visualizing all of that will help you do that. Next is you want to say the content out loud. When I'm prepping, I do my bullet points and I'm thinking it through and I run through it in my head. It's not good enough. You've got to practice saying the content out loud. There's a great Einstein quote that says, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, then you really don't understand it. So you want to make sure that you are comfortable saying what you're trying to get across and stay with it. When you go off script, that's when you got a problem, right? So it might sound like I'm making this up. They're bullet points. All right there, right next to me. So you're going to practice your content and get past hating your own voice. We all hate our own voice. It is just something, it's part of the human condition. So get past that. And the way you get past it, one way, is to constantly listen to your own voice. That's why practicing out loud is important. If you really have some kind of voice issue and you would like to improve your voice, maybe you think it's too high, it's too low. I think my voice is too high. You can work with a specific vocal coach. You can even work with a vocal therapist, different than a speech therapist, okay? But you can work with a vocal therapist or a vocal coach to change your voice in some way. If you have a lot of vocal tics, one of the things that people often comment on is, you only said a couple of times. And that's because I've been speaking for a long, long time, since 1983 professionally. And I've also taken training. I've taken courses. I've taken professional training. I've taken all kinds of speaking training to help me minimize and hopefully eliminate those vocal tics. If you know you have them, you just want to be sensitive to them, and it takes practice to eliminate them. Here's the best tip my speech instructor ever gave me, and that was shut up. He said, when you feel or coming out of you, right, it's about to come out, stop talking. Say it in your head and then start. So sometimes, if you really notice, sometimes when I'm speaking, I'll start to slow down, and I might even have a pause. And that's because I could feel that a vocal tic was going to come out. So you want to think about that, and you really want to just practice over and over and over again. This is where either your desktop camera or your phone camera can come in handy, because you can just, start doing it, delete. I can't tell you how many I delete. So you're going to then get comfortable being on camera, right? So you got to be on camera. That's the only way you're going to be comfortable. You can, if you want to learn how to swim, you can read about swimming. You can watch videos about swimming. You can read books about swimming. You can watch swimming on TV. But you're never going to know how to swim until you get your butt in that pool and you start swimming, right? So, and again, you can sink or swim. I fell in a pool at the age of 2. Luckily, I had a cousin pull me out. I didn't drown. But I also had swimming lessons from the time I was about 4 or 5. My mom knew that she wanted all of us to be comfortable in the water. We were lucky that we had those lessons. So same thing here. If you want to be on camera, you got to practice on camera. And Michelle talks about that in this week's episode as well. So you want to make sure that, yes, you can do slideshows if that's the way that's going to get you comfortable. But one of the things that Michelle really emphasized why video is powerful is because of the connection it makes. Yes, there's an audio emotional connection that can happen when people hear your voice, but really it takes seeing you. It takes looking at your face. It takes just all of that for people to really make an emotional connection with you. And that's what we're trying to do, especially for those of us who are coaches, consultants, and healers and speakers, and anybody who is doing something that really does involve some level of intimacy with their audience. You want to make a connection with them. People want to see the real you. It's not a beauty contest. So if you have issues about seeing yourself on camera, about putting yourself on camera, and they're connected to, I hate what I look like, I don't like my hair, I have a big zit, I have, whatever, you got to get past that. And Michelle gave some really great strategies on how to change your thinking so you can get over it. If you know that your self-esteem and your self-worth are so poor that they are keeping you from taking action to market yourself, to get your message out there, and to impact your audience, then I really encourage you to get professional help. Work with a coach, get a therapist if you need to, but do the work that you need to put yourself out there. Like I said, start with slideshows to get comfortable, but then come out in front of the camera and let people see you. It is important, and it's only going to get that much more important. And when you stay focused on your message and your audience, it takes the focus off of you. So you can stop thinking about yourself and start thinking about, I got to get this message out. I have to change people's lives. Next is after the video, and I always do this, I budget time to think about what went well, what could I improve for the next time, because that's your personal goal, and you want to continue to attract people and have people want to share your videos because they're impressed with the quality of the message and the way you deliver them, right? So you want to make sure that you're giving great information so that others are helping you market because your message is so powerful and they're helping you get that out. And don't worry about it if you talk with your hands. Go ahead and talk with your hands. Just don't be like, 3D effect. Make sure that you're doing it within the confines of the square of that camera lens. And again, another reason why you have to practice in front of the camera. So then you want to, tip number 9 is to repurpose the content. I mentioned this a little bit already, but you want to think about how else am I going to leverage this? Where does the video fit in my marketing and sales framework? And then how can I continue to get this out? I can download this video, polish it up a little bit if I want to, or not. It's totally fine. And then I can upload it to YouTube. I can then share it all over. I can embed it on my website. I can take my bullets, turn them into an article. I can tweet out the resources that I used to prepare for this video. I can then post the article, the video on LinkedIn. So there's a lot of ways I can repurpose that. That is really my driving reason for embracing video. And I've been using video now for, I don't know, at least 5 years, maybe 6 or 7. But if truth be told, I would love to not do it. But I do it because it's a great way to create content, and it's powerful for people, and it's shareable. You know, people can send it all over the place, so it works for me 24/7. So definitely think about all the different ways you can repurpose, including turning it into an audio. As I said, I use Cloud Convert for that, and you can also turn it into an article or even use just the transcript. Although I really don't like that. I prefer that it be written, a written narrative, so that people can follow it effectively, and you can delete things that are you going off on a tangent. So, sorry that was a little bit longer than I expected. That's where practicing comes into play. It will help you condense that message and make sure that it's tight and on focus. But I hope this information has been helpful to you. So you got at least 9 tips, way more than that, on how you can be confident about using video and how you can start using video yourself, or if you've just started or you're dabbling, how you can possibly improve your production values, as they call them, and get your videos out in a bigger way and start connecting with your audience. So this has been Winnie Anderson. I'm a business coach for passionate introverts who have a big vision, but who are overwhelmed in trying to get it out and to achieve it. If you would like to get some help in coming out of hiding, using video, being on podcasts, creating a book, writing a blog, whatever is your strategy for coming out of hiding, then please shoot me a private message. You can reach out to me on the contact form at my website at winnieanderson.com/contact and drop me a note. Be happy to talk to you about the private coaching I do, the intensives I do, and the groups that I run that focus on building business and coming out of hiding. So I hope that you will check out this week's episode of the Courageous Entrepreneur Show. The show is out on Mondays, and then Wednesday I'm here live on Facebook with the after show. Remember, the Courageous Entrepreneur Show shares information, tips, and resources to help you break free from self-doubt, limiting beliefs, and disempowering patterns, and break through to create the thriving, successful business you dream of and deserve. So I will catch you again in another episode soon. Post any questions or comments that you have, and I will be sure to share the links to resources that I mentioned here in the comment area. Stephanie says, you inspired me to do a video. Yay, Stephanie. Oh my gosh. You should be so doing video with the all the accessories that you can show off. All right. Have a great rest of the day, rest of the week, and I will catch up with you again soon. Bye for now.